Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. I've been really excited to make this one for you because it's been a few weeks kind of compiling information here from you guys. As a community, we have definitely found things that we love and don't love, reasons to return, reasons to keep this device forever, and hopefully I'll be able to go through all of those today. And if you're looking to purchase this device, you can make a much more educated decision. So first things first, a couple issues that we've been running into is SD cards. Apparently the Asus likes to cook them, or I guess in better word, they just die. They just don't work anymore. I just wanted to get that out of the way because a lot of people have been leaving comments on my videos. I haven't really dived into that yet. That'll be something that I look into in a minute here after the video to kind of dive into that a bit more. But I just want to let you guys know. I know they're a little expensive, so for me, when I get an SD card, it's not 50. I like to get big ones. And if this just ate my SD card, I'd be a little upset. So with that out of the way, let's really get into this here. What have I liked about this device? I feel like it fits in my hands a little awkward. It is a little bit awkwardly shaped. I know that a lot of people really like the look and design of it. I mean, I do personally. I love all these little... it's ROG. They always have to have their RGB, flashy, whatever here and there. But as it translates into hands, I've got pretty big hands here. It doesn't really fit all that great. If I want to actually hold the device like how I would a controller, it doesn't do a great job at that. The Steam Deck does a much better job. And I have modded buttons on here so that they'll actually reach my fingers. Which, we're still very early into the Asus's life. We have no idea how much longer it'll take before accessories to get out to us. I've been reaching out and companies have reached out to me to let me know that they're working on stuff. And I want you guys to know that as soon as those get here, I will make a video on those as soon as I can gather my thoughts on them. But I'm very excited and do look forward to more kind of product testing for this device because they're on their way. Things are just kind of shipping or in the design process right now. The buttons, there was a lot of talk on the buttons and the joysticks and whatnot, and I'll make this short and sweet because I've made complete videos about this. I think that the buttons are excellent. Don't listen to what a lot of people have been saying that they feel like their own button, right? Every console kind of has its own feeling controller and button. I'd be a little upset if this felt like just another console button. For me, they're snappy, they're responsive, but they've got a nice push. They've got a nice a press to them that feels great. They don't stick super far off the device. They are very low riding, which for me, honestly, it doesn't necessarily matter to me. But here's a comparison to the Steam Deck. These are a lot more off the device. I hope that's coming through on camera well for you guys. If not, I'm sorry. And then I'll just do this while I talk, kind of size comparison. I have absolutely loved this device. I play it probably 90% of the time plugged in because the battery is bad. It is just bad. There's nothing that we can do with the stock device without any accessories. There's nothing that we can do. Of course, you can get yourself a portable power bank. Those can run anywhere between $60 and $120 depending on what you're looking for. And I've got guides out, and I'll be making more guides on those, on which ones to kind of pick and choose from. But for me, if we're just looking at the base device, the battery it's just bad. I've tested a lot of different games, and some people say they're getting 4 to 5 hours. I tried Valorant the other day running off of battery. I got like an hour running at 15 watts. So it is really all over the place depending on the games that you're playing. And I thought that certain ones that don't take as much juice, they still die in a very short amount of time. So for me, that is the biggest negative. If you take away it killing SD cards, which mine, I'm not even going to test it. I don't even want to risk that. All my SD cards I have right now are massive. They're really big, and I don't really want to risk breaking one of those. I think I might have a smaller one that I might put in there, put some games on and see if it cooks that. But as right now, I've got to find that and execute him. But the joysticks are good. Exactly what I just said about the buttons, they feel like their own buttons. Now, some of you guys may not like that, but they don't feel like a PlayStation. They don't feel like an Xbox or a Steam Deck. They are their own joysticks. Now with that, some people say they feel a little loose. I agree, there's a lot of travel time back and forth on these joysticks. They sit very into the device. See how they were kind of pushed in versus the Steam Deck where it's pushed out. So with that, they just feel different. And I know a lot of us are coming from the Steam Deck to the Ally, so it's really easy to compare just stuff back and forth with the devices. I don't like the buttons on the Steam Deck. I like the buttons on there more. I like the joysticks on here more. Now, last thing with the buttons, the D-pads, this one takes the cake. I've had just a couple people say that they feel like they don't like them for fighting games. I play a little bit of Street Fighter 6 here and there. I'm not super great by any means, but I do enjoy the game. I feel like it's probably the best D-pad I've used so far out of all of them. I've tried a PS5 controller. I've tried a Series X controller that was holding the cable that just now fell. And honestly, I feel like this D-pad is excellent. You get very responsive diagonal inputs, which not a lot of D-pads have. And so for me, I feel like it's clicky, it's responsive, it feels great. The joysticks, the triggers here are Hall effect joysticks. Triggers, I keep getting that mixed up. These are not Hall effect joysticks, by the way. These are Hall effect triggers. And I mean, it's a trigger. I mean, there's really nothing to write home. I mean, it's not anything that's bad. I'll let you listen to that and you guys can decide what you think. Wow, I didn't realize they sound different. I don't know why the left and the right one sound different, but okay. I mean, they're nothing to write home about. I won't lie to you guys. They're there. They don't really, I mean, they look pretty good. I think that material will scratch up over time really easily, but I mean, they're there. Now, how it plays games, I've got Forza pulled up here. I know a lot of people are kind of sick of me playing this in the background. Guys, I just love Forza. It is such a fun game to play, and it looks amazing on the Ally. If you're wanting something to pick up and try, if you just purchased the device, the Ally comes with 3 months free of Xbox Game Pass. So you can use that to try this game out, try multiple games out, and see how it runs. I just think it destroys this game, and it's one of my favorite racing games to play. The latency really isn't that bad depending on the game. It is game like a case-by-case basis, I'll say, on how the latency is going to be. I've found more single-player games, like I tested out Fallout here. I didn't feel anything. I've played that game for probably 8 hours on here, and it feels very snappy, very responsive. Same with this. This is super snappy and responsive. And there's things you can do with the dead zone on the device to try to mitigate those issues. But for me, I hope it's something that Asus can kind of work out. Now, the screen is unreal. We have an OLED screen here on the Switch, and for me, this is as close to OLED without it being OLED that I've ever seen. The darks are super dark, the brights, the colors are super deep and rich. It's not as bright as I'd like it to be in some cases. If I were to open up my blinds here, it would be kind of hard to see the screen, and we are currently at max brightness. So that's something to complain about, I guess. The brightness, it just isn't fully there. It's the same brightness as the Steam Deck, and I mean, they're both kind of lacking. But as soon as you start wanting more somewhere else, you're probably going to have to sacrifice elsewhere until technology just gets a little bit better. If we had this thing cranked up with the brightness and all this stuff, like I said earlier, the battery life isn't that great. So we kind of have to pick and choose our battles here. And for me, it sits at a nice medium. I'd say the brightness is like one of the worst things about the screen, but the colors and everything else, if you're playing at nighttime or in your bed, like I feel like a lot of us do, maybe your wife or something is asleep and you want to still be in bed, but you don't want to wake her up, this is excellent for that. Playing at 15 watts, I have found the fans are really quiet. So if you're concerned about noise with the fans, this is currently 30 watts. I mean, I don't know if you guys have been able to hear that whole video. Leaps and bounds ahead of the Steam Deck, though. As far as like the sound goes, I heard that a lot from reviews, and I was super curious to test out the sound myself and see if it was something noticeable. If you can hear this over my talking, I'd be very surprised, because I feel like when you're out and about and you're gaming, the Steam Deck is just intrusive to the situation. If you're on a train or a bus and it's kind of quiet, people will know that you're gaming. It's almost like a gaming laptop, like an older one, if you know what I'm talking about. Like, the fans are just so annoying, it almost kills the experience. And that was a big complaint I had about the Steam Deck. And I mean, the fans are here, don't get me wrong, but much, much, much quieter. And I really appreciate Asus for looking into a way to make that better. This is single fan. This is two fans. You've got those two ports up top. Do I think this is worth $700? I think we'll kind of end things out a little bit more here. I think this is well worth the $700. For the Steam Deck that I purchased with my own money for $700, and this being $700, if I can be completely frank, I wish I wouldn't have purchased this. I didn't know that this had such a quick release window. It was like an April Fool's joke, you know? That's when they announced that they were going to release it, was April 1st, and I had already purchased my Steam Deck. I was already playing it for a few weeks, and I kind of, the price wasn't really announced at that time. I didn't know. I was like, oh, of course, it'll just be like another $1,500 whatever. Like, those specs sound great, but there's no way it'll be able to compete. As soon as it was available for pre-order, got it day one. It sounded too good to be true. I had to get this device to compare it to the Steam Deck, and the channel was formed. There was a lot of people who had questions that I had questions about, and that's why we were here. I think that if you want to have a handheld that will last a very long time, I don't know if this is the one for you. The white is definitely concerning. I know a lot of people really like the white. I just think this is going to be a grease magnet with not really any good cases out at the moment as of filming. I've had to clean this quite a bit. I don't know how these buttons will hold up. As much as I enjoy their feel, I don't know how these will hold up over time. I know the joysticks are replaceable. There's been a YouTuber who replaced them with Hall effect joysticks, and there was some issues there, but they are easily replaceable without having to really tear the device apart. I appreciate that too. I enjoy when controllers and devices like this have somewhat easy to get to parts. I know they're not thinking every single person is going to be taking the device apart, but it's nice that the people who want to, it's not super hard. I am very excited for the future. There's been a lot of videos I've made talking about issues we've all been running into, but put all that aside, I'm very excited for the future. I think that if you're just getting into handheld gaming, I would just kind of tunnel vision in on this. Look at other videos, compare, but for the price that this is at, you're not really going to find anything better. And the small little hiccups and stuff that we've been running into, that's something that I can put up with. That's something I can deal with. Of course, I'm going to make a video, I say complaining, but it's not complaining. It's voicing to the people what needs to be fixed. Because if nobody does, they'll just keep doing this to us. So I'd rate this device right now, 3 weeks in, this is an 8.5 out of 10. And I'm taking points off mostly for what I talked about at the beginning with, it doesn't really fit my hands. And not everybody has really big hands. That's just me. I'm around 6'1", 6'2". I'm a bit bigger of a guy. And I just feel like I get hand cramps, like right around there. Kind of lose some feeling in my fingers. Someone else kind of said the same thing. But if you don't have big hands, that's not something that you need to care about, you know? But with all of that being said, I really appreciate you guys taking the time out of your day to check out this video. If you feel like there's anything that I missed out on that you love about this device, let me know in the comments, and I'll probably make another one of these videos in a few weeks once I get some more products to test out on this device. I've been receiving some emails for sponsorships and stuff, and let me know, and let me tell you guys, I am so excited to test things out for you guys. We've got some portable monitors, stuff like that, all kinds of stuff on the way. But just know that just because they are being sent to me does not change my opinion at all. I will be dead honest with you guys, just like how I have been with this. And of course, I will receive flack for receiving products, but I am not in any position right now to be just going out and spending hundreds of dollars on items. So for me, I'm excited for the future of the channel to be able to do that for you guys, but just know it won't change my opinion on those devices. With that, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. I appreciate every single one of you, and I hope you have a fantastic rest of your week. Expect another video coming out later tonight. Things have been kind of slowing down a bit, but I plan to ramp back up. With that, peace out, everyone.